and welcome to the Warrior Shrine, the podcast where we'll be talking about the online life of that new hotness MKX. This podcast is first and foremost about gameplay-oriented stuff, and even more specifically, online gameplay-oriented stuff. That's what I really like about fighting. That's my favorite thing about fighting games, honestly. Once the game is out of the developer's hands, you know, there's patches and whatnot, but you get the players kind of dictate how and where the game goes. And that's always really interesting to see. Even on a weekly basis, stuff changes. And that's the stuff that I want to talk about. Let's introduce ourselves. I am Django, and joining me is Shadaloo and Temp. Sup, dudes?
Sup, dude?
Hey, guy.
Hi. Sup? This is not a super serious, structured anything at all. We're just going to talk about who we're playing, who we've been playing against.
That's a good thing, because I am, not a gameplay aficionado at all, and now that I've had my 26 ranked matches and I have my Liu Kang Revenant skin, ranked can go fuck itself. And after I get my Netherrealm Kung Lao skin, fucking King of the Hill can go fuck itself, because I'm just going to play with the people that I get along with, because fuck other people. Love you.
See, and that's kind of another thing that I had in mind whenever I was thinking about this. It's like, jumping into online on MKX especially, it's intimidating. Like, people are running at you and they're doing this stuff, and you might run into God forbid you run into an Inferno Scorpion like your first match, and you're not going to come away feeling good. So, you know.
Actually, you know what?
What?
You know what?
What'd you do?
I'm going to share this. I had a match earlier. Okay, for me, online ranked at least seems to be like this. Out of 10 matches, you will get 5 people who don't know what they're doing. You will get, one more who you can see is learning but is nowhere near your skill level. And then you'll get the other couple. And out of those, one of them will wreck your shit. One of them. At least 1 out of 10 people online will destroy you. And I had, the greatest match before, which started so shitty for me. I had an Inferno Scorpion, and I had a guy who, memorized, a 35% damage combo and was really good with mix-ups. He took the first round, flawless victory. We had a great connection, by the way. And I don't know whether or not he got cocky, or I got lucky, or maybe he underestimated me, or what, but round 2, I took with an X-ray. Round 3 was down to the wire, and I took it. And his online history was something like 144 wins, 6 losses.
Aww.
So he had to have been up there. And I was really happy that I took that, because I didn't think that I was gonna. Feels good, man.
Losses now.
Feels good to be one of those 7.
Damn, my number's wrong.
Oh yeah, I can't count. I've been fucking up years.
It is intimidating, though, because when you go into ranked, you have no idea what's going to come out on the other side, because there's fucking, I don't know, 70-something variations all said and done?
Sure. I don't know numbers.
24.
Well, you take lag into consideration?
Times 3. 26 people on the roster, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes?
26 times 3. That would give us the 2015 BMW X3 from BMW.ca. Nope, okay. Doing that over again. 78. Okay, 78 variations. Yeah.
And a character in lag versus a character not in lag, is, as far as I'm concerned, is a different character. Mystic Ermac is reasonable, and then lag Mystic Ermac is a completely different creature. So there's a 140 character roster in this game. When you take all the variations and the lag variations in consideration. Shit, it's fucking, yeah, it's... So you don't know what's coming down that pipeline. Nothing. So yeah, it's weird going into ranking. It's fucking intimidating.
Lag, man. To be honest, just going to put everything on Front Street. Everything I said a minute ago is true about, why I wanted to do this podcast. But the other reason is to vent about all the times that I lost to a lag match and I just get super salty and I just want to vent. Earlier tonight, whenever I was fighting a Cryomancer Sub-Zero, all the dude could do was slide and down 2. And he wins. That plus lag equals so OP. So, it's nuts. It's nuts. And I have a decent Takeda. He's okay, but Sub-Zero's Cryomancer down 2 is fucking Happy Gilmore. It's amazing.
Can Takeda ever truly be called decent? Can he? Because all I hear in topics about Takeda gameplay is salt. And I can admit this, I've had one match against a Takeda that knew his shit. Yo, Smoke Man. seem to know his shit, and I came unprepared. The first time you fight that motherfucker, he seems so filthy, but I understand there's ways to get around that.
I won't talk about Takeda. I'll let Temp talk about Takeda. So because he's probably, he can't be accused of being biased.
I think he's very gimmick heavy. So if you've never seen a Takeda before, just take the loss. It's over. But once you know how to block and you know the ranges to block at, he's not so bad. I think he's reasonable, but in lag, he gets a lot of shit for free because he covers so much distance. And I mean, punishing by itself can be hard. Now, if you have to run punish at half screen, fuck it. No, you're done. So I think that's where a lot of the salt comes from for Takeda. He's not by any means the scariest character in this game, in my opinion.
No. I mean, again, could be biased Django because I played Takeda, but I think Takeda has his strengths and weaknesses, which is good. Every character should have that. Takeda, like you said, if you know how to block, it's fine. But a lot of characters in this game, I feel like this game is really mix-up heavy, like 50-50 heavy. There's a lot of characters I feel like have pretty good 50-50s in this game, so that's kind of what it is for Takeda and a lot of other characters. But Takeda has his weaknesses. You get up on him, and he has troubles, man. He has troubles.
Well, also, his 50-50s don't lead into, really disgusting damage. They're reasonable. It's just you're at advantage now because I got an overhead, and maybe I'll complete the chain combo. With Quan Chi, that's a 50-50. Takeda just fucking takes... He chips you away, basically.
He does, exactly. He chips you away. And I'm not even one of those cool Takedas that I've been seeing where, you'll do the overhead whip, but then he follows that immediately with, the low dart. So it's overhead, low. And then, oh shit, I just got hit low. Then I do the overhead again, and so you don't know if I'm going to go low or not. Did you get another overhead? This is what it's just mix-ups like that. But I'm not that good at doing that. I should do that shit more often. Who are you playing, Temp?
I would say Sub-Zero is my main right now. I'm going Cryomancer just because it fits my style better. I feel like Grandmaster is probably the best variation, but I really like Cryomancer. Also, he gets a true vortex. The way it works, I haven't tested it yet, but if you do a chain input, he basically leaves you standing and you're at advantage, and then you have to guess overhead versus back 3-3. And even if it's on a female character, back 3-3 actually combos into freeze. I don't know why that is. I wish it.
I don't only females.
I think so.
There's some. I mean, that's not too wonky, but there's some wonky hitbox stuff in this game.
There's a lot of it.
I was like, it kind of blew my mind for a second, but then I got over it because I was like, whatever. But one of my Takeda combos, my neutral jump 2, bounce, and then I can hit you with the overhead whip, and then my spear, my scorpion spear thing in Shiraryu. That hits everybody in the game except for one character. It doesn't hit Ferritor. It just doesn't work. And I was like,
yeah, that's backwards. I don't get that.
What the fuck is going on? This dude is huge. Everything should hit this guy, but it just doesn't work on Ferritor.
Yeah, they give all the women small hitboxes in MK9, and they gave all the fucking swole dudes small hitboxes in MKX. I don't know why that happened that way. I don't get it. But I think that's the case, but what makes Sub-Zero special is it's a true 50-50. You're not doing it on wake up. Because if someone has armor, they can, in theory, it's not really a true 50-50 because you have the wake up option. You're not getting the setup for free. Not in Sub-Zero's chain combo. I think he's actually at advantage. You do have to guess back 3-3 versus back 2. I think, there's still so much in this game I had to experiment with. There's so much I have to mess with. I wish I knew the exact chain combo. I really only know what I've seen in the tournament. I'm mostly just doing safe bread and butters with Sub-Zero. I don't fuck around with vortexes or 50-50s yet.
What about you, Shadowloo? Who are you playing?
I played the piercing Melina. She overhead 33 frames, so no decent 50-50. Is no reliable. No, you stay back and you wait for the roll. 33 frame overhead, you eating the shit. Unless opponent not know what doing.
Yeah, that's me. Every time I get paired up with the Melina, I just haven't played her enough. And last one, I don't know, what is it? It's like a overhead, low, this combo string she has.
Pretty much.
It just kept blowing me up because I didn't know it was coming.
It's the kind of thing that I have to basically start up while they're on the ground if I want to try to catch them while they're getting up.
Yeah.
Unless my opponent is really scrubby and does not know what an overhead actually is, I don't feel really comfortable using that move more than maybe once every match. And that's if I just think that I can trick them with it. I like to stay back, I like to wait for the roll and pray. Just pray.
She is having a lot of problems. She is a very problematic character.
Yeah,
I don't think she's going to be good when everything's said and done, unfortunately. Now, she does have the advantage of having not teleportation, but yes, teleportation, but not in the variation that I use. Like, that role is good for traveling. It feels better to me than actual running does. It's just I'm not used to running yet, but the amount of times that I've just used it to roll right in front of someone, say hello, and fuck them just a little bit. Just that psychological factor. Wait, what are they going to do? And then just wreck them. Yeah. It's fun. Yeah, well, the cool thing about Melina is she does, if you take the YOLO approach, you can probably get more mileage out of her than a lot of characters, because if you get like, I don't know what the frames are in her down 4, but if you condition them to block the down 4, you get that free overhead with meter, with a roll. So if you could really take that to the furthest extent, and you're comfortable with her zoning, she has some cool stuff. I just don't know if it's going to matter in a year from now, you know?
She is, as Geese Howard said, predictable. Quite predictable.
Who have you been seeing, Shadowloo, people playing a lot? Because I don't play PS4, so I don't know if it's the same. It's probably the same. But like, who do you see people playing a lot? Which characters?
In my 26 matches online, you mean?
All 26 of them.
Oh, Jesus Christ. 2 Scorpions, a Kung Jin. Fuck that stick, by the way. What kind of goddamn ass range? Holy shit. Like,
reminds me of the Frog Fusion stick from Mario RPG. What's up?
Seriously, like, I fought, like, I need to fight, I guess I need to fight more Kung Jins to see what this goes, but, like, there was no forward movement except for when it was the dash, like, the flying kick. It was just jumping, like, neutral jumping halfway across the screen and coming down with that stick, which has surprising range. So yeah, I've seen that. Couple subs. My one loss so far has come from a reptile who really knew his shit. One Takeda, who I wrecked a little. Honestly, it's been a crapshoot. I've had a lot of variation. I've never seen a Ferritor. Not once.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, I haven't. There's a few characters I haven't seen at all, and I played over 100 matches online. Ferritor's one of them.
Had a couple Devoras.
Yeah, I've seen Devoras.
Seen a lot of Devoras.
No Sonias yet. No one seems to be into Sonia.
No, maybe it's just me. I've just been seeing a shit ton of Inferno Scorpions, which he's good. Like, he's a good character, so I understand why people are playing him. Like, I feel like it's kind of a thing where if you want to win, pick Kung Jin or Inferno Scorpion. But, I mean, like, Ninjutsu Scorpion's good, too. Scorpion's good in general, I think, but I'm just seeing a lot of those two characters.
You know, I don't see a lot of Sub-Zeros, actually. For some reason, I mean, I encounter them here and there, but I don't see that many Sub-Zeros, to be honest with you.
I've had, like, 3, but that's probably just more towards character recognizability to casuals rather than people trying to actually learn them. The people that I'm fighting online now are going to be gone in like 3 weeks until ranked actually starts like thinning out and getting filled up with people who know the game more and want to stick with ranked to actually get up there. Now is still kind of a bad time to gauge who's popular and who's not. I find way too early.
Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. I'm wondering when that first balance patch is going to come. Is it going to be like pre-Evo or post-Evo?
I hope it's post. I really do.
Yeah, most people hope it's post.
Some people don't want to patch at all. What's up?
Yeah, the only thing I'd say offhand is really patchable right now is that fucking aerial variation 1 bar of meter trick for Ermac. That's probably a bug. That feels like a bug, and the fact that it wasn't addressed in the last patch has a couple people salty. I can't say I blame them much. That seems a little bit dirty.
Yeah, it's kind of not cool.
Although it's not like I see like Ermac.
I don't see places I understand. I haven't actually fought an Ermac apart from like people that I'm actually friends with on PSN. Like
I do, but they're all Mystic and Master of Souls. That's all they play.
Master of Salt.
Any of Masters. I like that. I think that is his best variation, by the way.
Master of Salt, definitely.
It's like, imagine if the fucking telesign was safe and went full screen. I like it. It's pretty good. I mean, granted, there's cooldown, like a bunch of cooldown, but it's not like you were throwing out teleslams back and forth in MK9 anyway, so Well, a lot of Aaron Black, of course. I've seen a bunch because
Right,
in
that's
lag,
exactly who I was gonna talk
Sony's
about.
very effective.
Yeah.
But go on.
No, yeah, I was just gonna talk about Aaron Black. I've seen a lot of Aaron Blacks. I think this character is always gonna be a decently solid character. Not like super awesome, but those fucking combos he's got. What is it, like really fast overhead, low, mid, whatever it is? That's really good. That's really good. I think that's always gonna do pretty well online. So I don't. I'm wondering how much of him we're gonna see in tournaments. I know Sonic Fox won with him that first tournament, but
I'm pleased he's
I don't know,
seeing use, or that he appears to be, because I was worried that once people found out that he wasn't basically Deathstroke or Striker Mark II from across the screen, bang, 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 people were going to lose interest. And I like him as a character, and he seems and from the time I've had with him, he's a lot of fun to use, and I want to learn some more. I'm interested, and I wish to subscribe to his newsletter. But that award seems to be going to Jackie. Oh well.
Oh god, it's going to Jackie hard. Ugh,
I haven't
that
seen.
sounded way dirtier than I meant it.
I have not fought this Spam-A-Lot Jackie yet.
Yeah, Auto Jackie. I haven't fought her either.
I have fought her many a times, and she's beaten me many a times, and I'm like, I'm better than this. Why am I losing this? But you get like lag involved, and it's hard to get the timing right because she sits full screen, she fucking runs full screen. She sits back, she does the full auto thing, and then she'll mix it up with the full auto, and then she can meter burn it to get the missiles off of it. So you're like, okay, is it over? Or is she gonna meter burn it? Okay, she's out of meters, so surely I can do this. So after she does it, you're gonna get popped with them. You're in block stun still. So I play Takeda. I have a teleport. I should be able to get around this shit, and I can if I time it right. But with lag and everything, it's a little difficult. And those hitboxes on those shots are kind of high. Like even jumping, sometimes I get hit and I'm like, it's a little high for that, but whatever. But yeah, they're out there and they're using it.
Supposedly, like, you really need to learn how to duck without blocking if you want to avoid those effectively.
It's true, yeah.
That is not a long-term strategy, though.
No, it's not
Yeah.
whatsoever.
It's hard to get the life lead back against that character, just from what I've seen of the streams, and I don't know. I mean, I could tell. I already know some of our audience, viewers, listeners, whatever, are going to be like, well, if you don't like lag, play offline, scrubs. Some of us can't. Like, my schedule, I can't make it to Ultra Arcade anymore. I just can't. If I want to go there, I have to go there at like 1:30 a.m. They're not starting tournaments at 1:30 a.m. I mean, they can't. It doesn't work like that, So
I would love to fight people offline. I prefer offline. I hate fighting online. I grew up in the arcade. The concept of lag angers me. The very concept angers me. It's not something I can ever acclimate to or get used to or deal with. It just pisses me off. So yeah, I'll fight you offline. Come up to Canada, buddy. Guy. I'm not your friend.
Since E3, I've been like, please, like, prioritize your netcode NRS. Like, that's all I've been saying. Like, I really don't care about anything else because I know I'm gonna play the game. I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna be playing it a lot online. That's how I did with MK9. That's how I did with Injustice. I played those games for years, just mostly in ranked. So even with the lag and everything like that, so I knew I was gonna be playing it with or without lag, and it's here, it's back again, and it's just part of the game. So you gotta roll with it.
thankfully, when it's good, it's good.
I will say that out of like, I don't know, the 80-something online matches, including all the ones that I've had with you guys, that my ranking stats say that I've had, I think I've had one or two truly shitty matches. A couple of them laggy but manageable. Most of them, on the whole, really good. So I'm on the experience's overall good side of that argument, which seems to be 50-50 that A, the netcode's garbage, B, it's actually much better than it ever was. And there seems to be no parity to that argument whatsoever.
Some people say both. They're like, the netcode is better than it ever was, and it's garbage. I'm like, come on, man. What do you want from them? I mean, because it is partially them.
Well, we all want Killer Instinct. That's what we want. We want that kind of online experience.
I want GGPO, but it's never going to happen.
Speaking of KI, man, because of the recommendation that Temp sent about listen to Cinder's theme, I did that today at work, and beautiful.
It's good.
And then I went to Hisako's, which I had never heard before. I never got around to listening to it. That is some shit that I could picture playing in some Japanese goth nightclubs. That is wonderful. I'm in love.
Girls start rapping. I love it.
The dude makes good music, man.
this score, this soundtrack needs a compact disc in the worst kind of way. I want it. Anyway, sorry, back on topic.
Of course. Yeah, no, I mean, Killer Instinct's a good comparison, though. I mean, just, I don't know, like, the netcode is so good for KI, but I think one thing that helps KI a lot is you don't really play KI long-term unless you know what you're doing. The system just does not lend itself to new players, unlike Mortal Kombat, which is way more accessible. So you have a much bigger online base. More than half of them, at least, are not optimizing their connections. So that's another big factor in addition to the netcode that you have to take into consideration, unfortunately, You know
what, though? Once a lot of the casuals start filtering out, like 2-3 months from now, there's going to be a lot less stress on the servers, and we could actually be looking at some really, really improved overall online experience.
I mean, I hope so. I feel like Killer Instinct, it was built from the ground up to be an arcade title, and it was kind of built from the ground up of just versus. So it was like, if you don't have good netcode, what do you have in this game? There's literally nothing else to do. There's no story mode. There's no extra modes, really. There was a really good training mode. But beyond that, like, that game is just playing. Whereas Warner Brothers looking at Mortal Kombat, and they're like, okay, where do we want to put our money into? It's a AAA title. You got story mode, Crypt, you got all these other online modes. So maybe really good netcode wasn't as high of a priority as it was for something like Killer Instinct, whereas that's all you had. And Killer Instinct was built from the ground up to be what it is, an online arcade playing thing. And MKX is built on at its heart, it's still Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, the engine. So I doubt that engine was originally made and engineered to being good online. And I feel like you kind of have to, I don't know anything about netcode, but I feel like to have a game with really good netcode, you kind of have to start from the ground up with netcode in mind to have that. But what do I know? I don't know.
I know they don't buy their own servers. That would help. This is not a poverty-ass company. Yeah, well, Warner Brothers specifically. Yeah. I know they have the cash to do it. That's my problem. It's like, you don't get to make excuses until you buy your servers. If you fork out the money and your netcode's still bad, I'm like, well, you tried. They're not doing everything they could be doing.
Maybe one day we'll get a Mortal Kombat with some kind of GGPO KI level netcode. That would be amazing.
Well, I would like to think in 2018, just the internet as a whole is better. Connections are better. Hardwiring throughout the nation is better. I'd hope so. But I mean, I don't know. It's good enough. I'm still having fun. When it's, like I said, when it's good, it's good. Like, our connection was pretty good the other night.
It was pretty good.
When I played Shadowland Cyborg, it was pretty good. Sometimes it's perfect. Like, my matches with Praetor were really good. And his connection, unfortunately, can't be optimized right now. He's got to do some stuff with his internet. But it was good. Like, I wasn't complaining. When I'm not thinking about it,
you know
I
what,
know
though?
It's good. Yeah?
If Praetor's connection's not optimized, he's fighting me up in Canada, and our match was, I'd say, maybe 95% lag-free. We did pretty damn well. That says a lot right there, I think.
Yeah,
he's in, like, what, East Texas, I think?
No, he's in South Texas. He's actually in my hometown, so we're like, I don't know, 200 miles away from the Mexican border, so we're pretty far. We're a good distance. Well, no, it's got to be probably more than that. Now that I'm in San Antonio now, so I'm not good with numbers, but we're far. We're far away. We're a distance. Yeah, but speaking of East Texas, though, Combat Houston, that's one of like the 4 like major centers of Mortal Kombat. It's that, Chicago, New York, and I would put SoCal on there probably at this point. Yeah, there's a lot of good little clusters of strong Mortal Kombat communities, so I'm looking at them. That's who I look to. I see what they're doing in tournament. Atlanta. How the fuck did I forget Atlanta?
Yeah, I was gonna mention Atlanta.
Have Texas adopted Aaron Black as their official mascot?
We should. We probably won't, but we should.
Why would you say that? That's racist.
Dude, you can't qualify cowboys as a race. They're just in Texas. That's where
they're not
they live.
A race. They're an ethnicity, guys. Okay.
You're a stacist.
No, it's true. You know what? I don't really.
I'm just saying they do drive-bys. They have guns.
We definitely got drive-bys. That's no stranger to Texas. We got a lot of those. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really only saw the Combat Houston guys when they came to San Antonio. I never really saw much beyond that. And often, like, their best player is Cat, and he uses Cabal, and their second best player. Well, you could argue they're probably even, but Showtime and Cat are the two best players there, and they use Cabal and Sonya. So it's such a hard matchup, for San Antonio, which is just filled with character loyalists through and through. Like, our best players are Noob Saibot, Reptile, and really, I mean, we have a Cabal player now, but that was near the very end when Rav started tearing shit up. And he was a Jax player, so even he was honest for a while, so. Shout outs, Rav. Dishonest bastard. Nah, I love you, dude. But anyway, yeah, so I guess that's the trick. If you don't find an online community, you have to sign petitions and hope the netcode gets better.
That's been my I live in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Online is my community. Ranked is my fucking community. So I was like, just make it a little higher on the totem pole of priority. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about. Make it make it a priority just a little bit in NetherRealm, but I'm sure they did, and I'm sure there are dudes there who knew how important it was, but they're a big business, and Warner Brothers is a big business, and they have dollars in mind, and I get it. It's fine. And it's not bad sometimes. Sometimes it's not great, but whatever. Good or bad, I'm going to be playing online for years, so.
Well, I plan on doing it as well. We need to get a live stream going just so we can show everyone just what it's like when we throw down. I
show everyone how cheap my Takeda is, please.
Well,
I'm looking forward to it.
If not, I don't plan on playing online for years and years, but I would like to actually maintain some sort of practice this time around, not like I did with MK9. I let myself slip. Oh god, remember when that game came out? I was like, I want to play this fucking thing online for a year at least. Then I'm like, hey, other games. Derpy-der. It's sad.
Yeah, it happens. It does happen.
I've been an MK fan since fucking 1994, and then the latest shiny thing catches my fucking eye, and I'm ashamed about that.
See, before MK9, I was not into the gameplay of Mortal Kombat at all, because...
Who really was?
I asked myself the same question, but I hear they're out there. I never got into the gameplay of Deadly Alliance through Armageddon, and MKDC, I actually didn't play it at all. But when MK9 came out, I was like, okay, this is what I liked whenever I was a tiny baby child and just sucked anyway at video games, but I liked it. And so I kind of moved away from being a fan of the story and lore and everything primarily to a fan of gameplay primarily, and that's where I am now, which I'm really happy about, and that's why I lasted so long with MK9 Injustice. I played story mode, and after those however many hours it was, I still had something to do that made me really happy for a couple years. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing with this game. I still want to play Injustice. I'm fucking missing Injustice right now. I should play it sometime. It's a good game.
Well, you have a main, too, and that helps. I couldn't find a main in Injustice that was really pulling me into it, which is why I never really understood why there was a divide between the lore guys and the gameplay guys. If you love the lore and you want to own it, gameplay and getting good at the game is the best way to do it, in my opinion, I mean, I get good at the gameplay because I love my character.
It's tough to do that sometimes, to put 100% of the effort into it when your character is not around, though. I'll have to say that. I mean, I'm putting a lot of effort into Melina right now, but I mean, for all the... I swear, assuming Smoke had been in every game, maybe I'd be a bit more proficient with him right now. That is, if he ever actually had any sort of consistency from one game to the next. But it is hard for me personally to put that level of command into a character if I don't love them because of the story at some level. Although I try to keep objective. I've always liked Melina, but she's never been my number one character.
What is your story with Melina? Because I never got the feeling you were going to main Melina when the game came out. Is she your favorite character on the roster?
No.
This roster? Then what happened? Tell me more.
If I have to actually say favorite character on the roster currently, it's tough, because honestly, I don't know if I can answer that question, because all my mains are gone. All my preferred characters are gone. I mean, Reptile's pretty high up there, but Reptile's a different beast now than he was in UMK3 when I actually used to play him a lot. Shit, man, I don't know, man. Ferritor might be my favorite character on the roster, but their playstyle is just totally unsuited to me as much as I want to learn them. I'm liking Liu Kang a lot more, and I had fun with him just now, practicing a little bit, and I don't know. We'll see about him. I like Kano a lot. Kano's wonderful, and I actually find him pretty easy to pick up. I have to learn some overheads. So no, you might see me learn a lot more Kano in the next couple of months, maybe. We'll see. But Melina, characters like Melina, and like I have to say, if there's one character that's my type, it's kind of a quick striking, like sniping in and out kind of character. Giggity, in and out, Melina. And with the absence of smoke, Melina kind of seems to fit that archetype. I had that guilt factor, I felt like it's too easy to get hits with this character. I feel almost like I'm cheating. And then, the side of me that says play to win, the bad side, I suppose, says, you know what? If they keep on falling for it, it's their fault. Fair enough, says I. So I began learning a little bit of Melina. I've always liked her, and I don't think she's ever been actually pretty bad in any game she's ever been in, save for like UMK3. I think she was trash in UMK3, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I know she was really good at MK2, of course.
MK2, she was like best or second best next to Jax.
Yeah, she was solid mid-tier in MK9.
Predictable, but fun.
Indeed. But Melina's a good pick anyway, because not a lot of people are using her right now, anywhere, really. That was my problem with Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is my favorite character on the roster, but maining Sub-Zero or Scorpion, like I was telling Cyborg the other day, maining either of those characters is like getting married to a prostitute. No matter how kind-hearted and pretty she is, she's still there's gonna be dudes all over her later. That's what Sub-Zero and Scorpion are to me. I can't own the character, because dudes are playing them back and forth all day. Just a whole community of randoms have taken ownership of that character, and I just don't feel like it's my character.
See, I thought I was a character loyalist until I started playing this game, because I don't really love playing Sub-Zero. But yeah, like I saw Takeda and I'm like, boom, done. It's good. It's over there. And I played. I really only played two characters primarily in MK9. It was Sub-Zero and Smoke. And Takeda reminds me a lot of Smoke, which is funny because he kind of looks like Smoke in his white variations. With Shirai Ryu, he's got the teleport and some fun stuff like that. He's even got Smoke's like little twirly kick he does where it kicks you twice. That's kind of interesting.
Only it's good, or better at least.
Takeda's?
Yeah, Smokes was a decent footsie tool and it was good for whiff punishing, but there's never a time you'd want to do forward 4 instead of back 2. I can't think of a single instance.
For me, Takeda just kind of has that same feel whenever I'm playing him as Smoke, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I guess in terms of maybe the fact that you have to kind of hang back a lot and kind of wait for opportunity, and occasionally surprise him with a teleport punch, I suppose I can see that. But the way that I played Smoke actually involved a lot more teleporting back and forth, trying to get behind a guy for a throw and whatnot. So I don't know. For me, it's a little bit different, but I can see the similarities.
I mean, here's the weird thing. Smoke was such a versatile character. He was one of those characters where you could make him conform to your style. He wasn't really... People were saying Smoke's a turtle. I'm like, guys, Smoke is not a fucking turtle. Not by any means. You can play him offensively really well. I actually think in essence, Smoke is a footsie character. You want to stay in the mid-range. The only time I was ever laming it out with Smoke is when I was scoping my opponent to see what they were doing and picking up what their patterns were. Other than that, I was typically going in. I didn't have time to fucking turtle with Smoke. If it was a bad matchup and I had a life lead, I would turtle out to build meter, but it wasn't a strategy. I was just trying to, make the other player impatient. That wasn't a way to win. That was just to build meter and piss off the other character. It wasn't a strategy, Because I don't feel comfortable playing defensively. I want to play offensively because then I feel I'm in control, So yeah, you can really play Smoke any way you want. That's what I like about the characters. Everyone kind of came out with a different Smoke when everything was said and done. But he had a lot of good offensive options too. That Smoke trap was really tight, and his damage was really good. I guess Takeda, I can't compare either because I haven't played Takeda. I don't know if I ever will. I may do it just to break down the character so I can beat him, but just. The character doesn't interest. I could not care less about that character.
I don't know what it is. Takeda just does something for me in a very, very special way.
Well, there's a lot of cool shit about Sub-Zero. I'm sure
those rapid whip hits are kind of arousing. I won't deny that. There's something really sexy about just having the lashing going on and just seeing the combo meter fill up, which is, by the way, the greatest fucking thing about playing Liu Kang. Simple I think it's 1-1-3 into back 3-4, forward 2-1-3. And at the very least, at some point along there, at least after the second part, the back 3-4, you can just go right into the X-ray, which is in itself 10 hits. So even if you're scrubby, you can easily get a 20-hit X-ray combo with Liu Kang, and he's just sitting there pounding the crap out of them. And you're like, oh god, stop. His life bar depleted a full 7 seconds ago. He's already dead. Nah, keep going. Keep going. It's rewarding.
He's an empowering character for sure.
Which he should be. He's Liu Kang. How do you guys feel about uppercuts in this game? I feel like they got a lot better in MKX.
Your mileage will vary. On the one hand, you have people like, actually, I want to say from kind of experience, Melina, because Melina seems to suck shit. And then you have Cryomancer Sub-Zero.
Oh, well, yeah. He has a good one. Cassie Cage has a good one, I believe. I'm pretty sure Liu Kang's is pretty good. At least it's fast or something. At least
Luz is pretty quick.
I've been hit with a shit ton of them. That's all I know.
Sub-Zero is really good because of the pushback. Because even though I think it's like, I want to say like at least negative 11 to 14 frames somewhere in there, the pushback makes it hard to punish with any sort of fast normal. A lot of other uppercuts don't have that advantage. Even the fast ones, they're pretty negative. So I think people just aren't used to them yet. I think they may be worse in this game because I don't remember them being that unsafe in MK9. But I don't know because I never did uppercuts in MK9. It was Smoke had like the slowest uppercut in the game.
Smoke was
like
terrible. It was
really bad.
Sector had a nice one. Sectors came up pretty quickly, and I liked to use it if I wasn't feeling... If my brain was feeling fuzzy and I didn't feel like comboing after a teleport uppercut, I'd be just like, there you go. Nice 25% damage right there.
If it's good, why not, you know? A lot of people are trying to do swag stuff on the streams, and I'm thinking, if you had just used a fucking uppercut, you would have gotten more damage at the end of your combo. No one wants to end their combo with an uppercut, but sometimes if your execution's kind of sloppy, that might be the smartest way to go.
If I'm in a tight match and like it's wire to wire and we're both near the danger mark, even if I've got him like juggled in a corner, I'm going to finish with that uppercut instead of just going herp-de-derp-de-diddle. I can get another 15 hits out of this. You know, just be safe. End it.
And you're not going to get that much damage, it feels like, in this game anyway. This game isn't really generous with giving damage. Maybe a couple characters, but I don't think most of them are.
Sometimes it feels surprising.
Too.
Unless you're Kung Jin.
Kung Jin, Raiden, fucking Katana has 30% damage for free. Sub-Zero has 30% damage for free. I'm like, well, why? Why does Shinnok have to burn meter for 25%? What the fuck?
Did you see the terrible things that like fucking stunt double Johnny can do for free?
I haven't.
I've heard. I haven't seen it.
Like you're talking upwards of 40% damage meterless, and he can combo into the X-ray too. I've seen a 60% damage combo with the X-ray.
I've seen a 50% combo into X-ray with Ferritor.
That one's easy. That's like something along the lines of like neutral jump punch, forward 2 for an overhead, then forward and 3, then right into the X-ray. Easy combo. Tricky timing, but overall easy. Yeah. But Johnny can go right into it from almost anything. At least in stunt double.
Are the uppercut damages different for everyone in this game? I haven't noticed that.
I think it ranges from 12 to 14% depending on your character.
I was actually about to bring that up. It does feel a bit different. Sometimes I finish them with that, despite the fact that I'm trying to set them up for brutality or something. I'm like, didn't think it'd do that much. No, well.
I don't know, like, it's so random what normals are good and which ones are not. Like, down 4s were almost universally good in MK9. Now you really have to look at the frame data because you never fucking know if you have a good normal or not. That I don't really like. I feel like it's so random what normals are good and which ones are not. Like Raiden's down 3 hits high. Why does Raiden's down fucking 3 hit high? I don't get that.
What's the animation for that? What is that?
It's he does a kick towards like your thigh. It's weird.
Melina's got something like that too. It's like a little bit of a mule kick to the chin, but yeah, it's a down 3 or down 4, one of the two. Very odd.
Aaron Black, man, I'm just still like his fucking string where he has the mix up of the overhead low into the mid or whatever it is, but he also kind of has Sub-Zero's thing, like the 2 quick low kicks. This character, I'm going to learn him because he's got some good strings.
I should probably correct myself. Raiden's down 3 hits mid, not high. I mean...
Mid? Okay.
There was a day when I didn't even talk about mids. There was only highs and lows, but mid is what I meant. So the whole mid thing I didn't start hearing about till Tekken and Mortal Kombat 9. And mids still aren't quite the same thing in those games anyway, so... Because mids, I think, are overheads, right? In fucking Tekken? I think I heard that. I think so, but that's their terminology. That's just how they call overheads mids, I think.
I've not played the Tekken games since Part 3 on the original PlayStation. used to like to pick Doctor to make him fall down.
I remember Street Fighter Cross Tekken being very good.
Yeah,
Like,
see,
as
that
a
I consider
game?
actually more of like a Street Fighter game rather than a Tekken game. And not a very good one at all, in fact. Not a very good one.
Wait
at
a
all.
minute, now that I think about this.
It wasn't even like Street Fighter cross Street or Tekken. It was just Street Fighter with Tekken characters. Like
Right.
Pretty
it
well.
didn't feel anything like Tekken to me. Like I guess maybe like the
Well, that
the
was the plan.
strings felt like Tekken, but
That was the plan. They were going to do Street Fighter Cross Tekken by Capcom, which would be basically shoving Tekken characters into SF, which it very much was, and then they were going to do Tekken Cross SF, which was going to be Street Fighter characters in that quasi 2 3D plane, supposedly, and supposedly that's still in development. It hasn't been shit canned or anything. We're going to see
Harada
it.
keeps saying
Apparently.
that it's still coming out, but does anyone give a shit? Like I don't.
When's MKF VSF? That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, that would be fun. Just Capcom's not broke enough. They need to hit rock bottom, and then they'll sign the papers, and we'll fucking have our MK versus Street Fighter.
Well, is there anything else you guys wanted to go over? You want to
I
talk
guess-
about anyone who needs to be nerfed? Anyone needs to be hit with the nerf bat already?
No, I don't really want to nerf anyone yet. I
Too
want to
early
nerf
for
eventually, but
You guys are no fun.
we do need to talk about patches though, because I mean, people are saying there's two. It's such a bipolar argument. It's we should never fucking patch ever. Give the game a year. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. In the game, in an age where Evo has 7 fighting games, they're all getting hundreds of entrants. That's absolutely ridiculous. Your game will not survive. And then you have people who are like, we need to nerf fucking Grandmaster Sub-Zero right now. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get some characters do struggle, but let's give it some time, you know? And if it were up to me, I would buff damage. I would not buff characters. I would just give them more damage. That way you don't have to relearn the matchup, you know?
Yeah, that would be good.
But
If any, I think that I don't know. Maybe Ferrator could use a bit of buffing. They seem pretty vulnerable, and there's always that like delay with Farrah getting back onto his back, and I don't know. And I'm hearing odd things about like armor at weird times. The fact that you have to like time things differently. That he's got invincibility no one else does. Maybe he could use a little bit of normalizing. I don't know.
This is Ferrator we're talking about, right?
Yeah, I want to see more of them online, and I want them to be tournament viable. It'd be nice. Maybe that'll happen, but it doesn't seem to be the case as of yet.
I
think
just
everyone's too
don't.
scared to use them.
I don't really know what to think about Ferrator. You know, I'm hearing such mixed things about the character. Like good, bad, not good, not bad. I don't know what to believe, and someone has to show me. Like I want to see someone demonstrate, because people were trashing Pig at the Hut for saying, you know, Kenchi's not good, and Pig at the Hut wasn't even requesting. He wasn't saying we need to buff this character. He wasn't saying we need to patch. He was just saying I've had it with this character. I don't think he's very good. And you know what? Like, people were shitting on him, but his counter-argument was, show me. Show me the character's good. Don't tell me. Show me. And that's a good fucking point. If people can't demonstrate the potential of the characters, you know, I think they should kind of lay off the whole we need to watch the game grow thing, because we weren't that wrong about Injustice. We were wrong about MK9, but that was a symptom of two things. That was a symptom of not having any fucking frame data. That was a symptom of never having to deal with. We were dealing with a completely new engine. No one had really messed with an engine with this kind of movement before. And the third factor was just our community wasn't very big back then. We had a much smaller community. So it wasn't the fact that Sonya wasn't good, just people weren't picking her, or they were only looking at her at face value. It's not the same thing. So I think after EVO's a good time to patch it. I just think they should patch conservatively, you know? Don't do anything crazy. Don't give Cabal armor. Don't take away something you think is too good and then arbitrarily give them another buff like they did with fucking Cabal. We don't need more shit like that.
I would disagree on the damage buffs, because I think that the way it is now, with a couple of odd exceptions like Johnny or Kodal having those weird-ass 60 plus, in fact I think that Kodal even has 100, or had anyway, I don't know if that was patched. I kind of like the fact that you struggle to get past 30 or so. I feel that, I don't know, in a game where you can make 2 mistakes and die off the bat, it doesn't leave a lot of room for a lot of interesting back and forth or comeback. I don't know. I feel pretty much that in a nutshell. 30-35% damage combos, that's fair. Leaves a leeway room. If they were like 40% damage combos, like left and right 45, 50, fucking, I don't know, that would be a turnoff for a lot of new players. There's a psychological factor there. They think, okay, 30% damage combo, maybe I can somehow get back from this and recover. 50% you start going, why am I bothering? I'm going to make two mistakes, it's going to be done for me.
If you have meter and you have to use meter and you're still not breaking 30%, I think, let's put it this way, let's keep damage the same based on meterless. Let's not touch it. But if you have to give up a bar, I would say just do it. Like, make the bar scale less, maybe. I don't know, because
that's fair.
Even if you give Shinnok a damage buff and he turns out like, oh, this guy had good damage the whole time and we were just dumb, how's he going to set it up? Like, Shinnok's going to not. He's not going to fucking get in. People aren't going to fall for that neutral jump teleport shit and fucking. I don't remember what the fuck. Imposter. Why couldn't I think of that? So maybe you're right, and I agree. Like I say, if anything, give damage, but you're right about not right now, at least, you know. But
yeah,
I'm seeing too many characters with 30-something% no damage. I'm just seeing too much meterless damage with characters. There's a minority of characters who don't have to work for their combo damage. I guess that's what bothers me.
Yeah, I think it's too early either way. Just let it sit for a little bit and see what happens. Like it feels a little weird right now, but that's could just be because it's new. It's a different thing. And yeah, I'm using a meter and I'm getting like 32, 33 if I'm lucky, but it's okay. And it makes things last a little longer and keeps things from being shut out. But let's just wait till after Evo before you start messing with stuff too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess the thing, it kind of comes down to the fact that you can't prove a negative. It's like, how do you know Shinnok doesn't have crazy damage? You just haven't found it yet. Well, okay, fine. Like, it's sort of like, you know, a convict, you know, on trial. It's like you have no evidence, but how do we know he's not guilty? And I'm like, at the end of the day, it's on them to demonstrate. If you think Shinnok has good damage, show me. But this is more observation than it is disagreement. I think you guys are both right. Don't do anything right now. Don't touch anything. After Evo, we'll see. But even then, very moderate changes. Very, very mild changes. Don't reinvent characters. You know, maybe Quan Chi is both Vortex and Zoning. Maybe diminish one of those two things. Or neither. Keep them both, but take away some of his damage. You know, you could say, what if he has good damage? But how about, what if we take away damage, you know? It's not like we're going to find out tomorrow that Quan Chi didn't have good damage after all, you know? So, I don't know. Maybe that's a better way to think of it. But normalize is the word that's being thrown around. Normalize Quan Chi's damage, you know?
I would like to vote for the patching back of the term Woolay into the game.
Right?
Let's do it.
Why? Let's just go back to Mortal Kombat 4, where everyone said awesome things all the time.
They should not be afraid to be silly. MK has a fine history of saying silly shit. Johnny bought a car, indeed.
Well, is that it, you guys? Anything else you want to touch on?
No, that's pretty much all I got right now.
I'm done.
I think you guys are nuts. I think Jackie is crazy good and needs to be nerfed right now. Because I lost 3 matches to her and she is too good.
They gotta fix that Ermac bar glitch. That's all I'm saying right now. That seems a little bit ridiculous donkey.
Or they'll buff it and give him 2 bars now.
We are Ermac.
Play this character.
We are many. You are for free.
Master of Salt, indeed. Alright, guys. This has been, what was it? Warrior Shrine. That's what we're calling it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, say something somewhere. That would be helpful. That'd be really helpful. I don't know how often we're going to do this. It might be semi-weekly-ish, just depending on if there's new stuff to talk about what's going on online, how the game's playing. But yeah, until then, I'm John Go, and bye everybody. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Berserker Barrage!
Strengthens the claw.
I'll fall like a bull. Fall like a bull.